Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, my name is Dewi insiadah. I'm from class 5D. I want to explain about the English fricative. The material is English fricative. The definition of fricative is type of consonant sounds which are produced by forcing the breath squeeze through a narrow gap with audible friction, hence the term fricative. And then discussion. During the production of fricative, the articulator are brought nearly close together. But as the closure is not quite complete, the oral cavity are not blocked totally, leaving sufficient opening for the airflow to continue. Due to this close approximation of the articulator, the air coming from the lung has to pass through a narrow gap with great pace, generation audible friction, which is heard as hissing for a voiceless fricative and buzzing for a voice one. And then classification. We have 9 fricative sounds in English, except for H. All fricative come in pair that is accompanied by one voiceless and one voice variant. And then F, V, D, T, S, Sh, Sh, J, and H. The above sounds are customarily described on the following basis. Manner of articulation. The manner of articulation is concerned with airflow. The path is take and the degree to which it is competed by vocal tract contraction. And then the next place of articulation. The place of articulation refers to where the sounds is produced. And then voice and phonation. Voicing refers to whether or not the vocal folds are vibrating. Some phoneticians use the term lineage and fortis to describe the voiced and voiceless sounds respectively. The first is V or V. Place of articulation. The upper teeth and the lower lip. Manner of articulation. The lower lips come very close to the upper teeth and creates a narrow gap. The air is scraped through the narrow gap with audible friction. V. Voicing is voiceless or fortis. The reason is a vocal fold don't vibrate while producing voice. V is voice or loudness. The reason is vocal fold vibrate while producing voice. Next, D or T or a dental fricative. Place of articulation: the upper and the lower teeth and the tip and the palate of tongue. Manner of articulation: the tip of the tongue touches the lower teeth and the blade touches the edge of the upper teeth. The air escapes through the narrow gap between the tip and the blade of the tongue and the front upper teeth and thus audible friction. However, the sounds could be produced in the other manner as well. The tongue tip might come close to the back of the upper teeth. The tip or the blade of the tongue might approach or touch the upper teeth. And then the voicing the is the voiceless or fortis. And then the reason is vocal fold don't vibrate while producing voice. And then T. Voicing is voiced or loudness. The reason is vocal fold vibrate while producing voice. And then the next or z or alveolar fricative. Place of articulation, tip and blade of the tongue, and the alveolar ridge. The manner of articulation. The tip and the blade of the tongue come very close to the alveolar ridge and create a narrow gap. The air passes through the narrow gap with audible friction. And then the voicing of s, voiceless or fortis, and then recent vocal fold don't vibrate while producing. The voiced vocal fold vibrate while producing voice. And then j or s or palato-alveolar fricative. Place of the articulation, the tip and the blade of the tongue, the alveolar ridge. And then manner of articulation, the air passage is blocked by the above articulation, but in contrast with s and z. The tongue is placed further back the alveolar ridge. The closer is then released slowly and the air escapes with audible friction. And then the last is h or glottal fricative. Manner of articulation. This sound is produced differently than the other fricative since it doesn't envelop the tongue or the teeth as articulator. For her, the sole articulator is the